Thank you so much for your attention. Please rise as we sing Mele Honu'uli'uli.
She's gonna sing it. Okay. Makoko. E o pale hua kua hivi la pa. E o pale hua kua hivi la. Ke kua hivi no i kalani. O ka pole i ka hula. Ka hui no i ka aina. O ka papa apuhi ka loko la. Ka loko i no i kai. O no uli uli la. He aina aloha o eva. Aloha mai e na puala. Na pua he o kaina. Aloha mai e na puala. Na pua he o kaina. Aloha.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, and this is very unscripted, Chancellor has asked us, Chancellor has asked us to not do something, but I think as part of the campus, we do need to honor her. And so with the Na'ulu team, we're going to do Ke Le Maila.
Kelei maila o ka ulahi ke kaiea o ka mala mani I hau ua mali e. A mali e ua pae ka inu maila. Ke inu maila hala o na wei ke kai. No na we ka hala no puna e ka wahine no ka lua no I kila wea. Elei mai la o ka ulahi ke kai ea o ka mala mani I hau ua mali e. A mali e ua pae ka inu maila. Ke inu maila hala o na wei ke kai. No na we ka hala no puna e ka wahine no ka lua no I kila wea. Kelei mai la o ka ulahi ke kai ea o ka mala mani I hau ua mali e. A mali e ua pae ka inu maila. Ke inu maila hala o na wei ke kai. No na we ka hala no puna e ka wahine no ka lua no I kila wea. Uhola ia ka makaloa la. Kuai ke aloha la. Kukai ia ka haloa la. Hawehi mai nā lehua. Mai ka ho'oku ia ka halawaila. Mahalo e nā akua. Mahalo e nā kupuna la ea. Mahalo me ke aloha la. Mahalo me ke aloha la. Mahalo.
Thank you. You may be seated. And may I introduce Roel Velasco from our student life.
I have the honor of opening us up with our Ho'oya Aina. I'm a settler on this aina and who now calls Kapolei or Ahu home. I can currently trace my family's roots to the Ilocos region in Bangi and Bacara in Ilocos Norte and Condon City in Ilocos Sur to what is now to refer to as the Philippines. I would like to begin by acknowledging the aina in which we gather, the Ahu Pu'a of Hono Ui, in the Muku of Eva, and the Muku of Oahu is part of the larger territory recognized by indigenous Hawaiians as their ancestral Papahanao Moku. I recognize that Her Majesty, Queen Liliuokalani, yielded the Hawaiian Kingdom and these territories under duress and protests to the United States to avoid the bloodshed of her people. I further recognize that Hawaii remains an illegally occupied state of America. I recognize that each moment that I am in Hawaii, she nourishes and gifts me with the opportunity to breathe her air, eat from her soils, drink from her waters, bathe in her sun, swim in her oceans, be kissed by the rains, and be embraced by her winds. I further recognize that the generations of Kanaka Uivi and their knowledge systems shaped Hawaii in sustainable ways that allow me to enjoy these gifts to this today. For this, I am grateful. We are grateful. And as a settler who has made Hawaii home, I continue to do my part to do and be better, to unlearn and relearn, seek ways to join Kanaka Uivi in efforts to protect land and communities, and dedicating time and resources to working together. As I close, I quote our former Vice Chancellor Rockne Freitas with his famous saying, "What's good for the Hawaiian is good for the world." Mahalo.
Thank you, Ro, and thank you to our Naulu Center for helping us welcome this brand new semester, this fall 2025 Convocation. So thank you everybody for being here, and we look forward to a good day of reacquainting ourselves with each other after this summer. And with that, if I could bring up Auntie Manu Meyer to give to present on Kulana o Kapolei.
Greetings from Auntie Lynette Paglinuan, a kupuna malokone mawahone. She has been key here in Kapolei. Next slide, anybody? There we go. And usually I wait for inspiration to come, and last night it did. Funny how that works, Minette. And I woke up with the ulaleo. It said, Uluae kevelina akelo. And so to start off this year and to begin to close the tenure that our chancellor, the first Hawaiian female chancellor that I have ever had in my 40 years of being connected to the university system, is something special. It is to be recognized, it is to be honored, and I know Auntie Lynette would use this as a kumupa'a to strengthen the voice, the spirit, and the vision of Uluae Kevelina a Kealoha. Now, Uluae Kevelina a Kealoha, let's practice this together because we're going to sing it together after this. And it's something that is so simple that you'll remember it. And so you can feel free to record it too. This saying was first experienced in Hilo under a picture of Auntie Edith Kanakaole. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. In Hawaiian thinking, there are three ways in which to understand ideas and words. The first, ho'opukaku, is the literal. The literal, my friend Pulama calls it the authentic meaning. Then there's the kauna, which is the metaphoric, the poetic meaning. And then there's the noahuna, which is very, very unusual to bring out today. And the noahuna is that idea which is hidden, but right in front of your face. All we have to do is express our own deepest longing for meaning making. And that always is a mutual process. And that mutuality is expressed in Hawaiian as aloha aku, aloha mai, pono aku, pono mai, ike aku, ike mai. It's almost as if it means love is about loving. So the collapse of all verbs into nouns is a textual phenomenon in the last 200 years. But our language and our living has always been verb-oriented. So ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha, the initial translation was the growth of love is the essence within the soul. Isn't that beautiful? That was next to Auntie Edith Kanakaole's picture. But after 40 years of ho'oma'ama'a, making that idea transparent in my being and in my family's work throughout Hawaii, the meaning then became our noahuna, that loving is the practice of an awake mind. No one can say that's not what it means. That's what it means to us. So when our chancellor used that as her byline, I knew something was going to change. And it was expressed perfectly today by you, Roel. I can't say I've ever, really, to hear that type of truth come out, yeah. Special. We're healing. And this was a campus of healing for many of us. And those of you who know what I'm speaking of, as on the spectrum of awareness, on the spectrum of historic understanding, on the spectrum of your own discomfort, I welcome that discourse because you, Chancellor, have strengthened all of us, strengthened us and given us a space to kui kamana, to stand firmly, quietly, and intentionally on our beloved Aina Aloha. So let's learn this so we can bring this home and teach it to our children's and children's children, because loving is the practice of an awake mind. It is all we are left to do in higher education. Believe it or not, if your class isn't about loving land, serving people, then you will have missed the i'ini of our chancellor. So I'm going to do it once, and please join me for 4 more times for a total of 5, because 5 is our spiritual number of healing. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. We can say it together. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. Okay, so ho'opili mai, but listen first. And thank you, Maynette. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. Here we go. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. Maikai. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. Ulua'e kevelina a ke aloha. Ulua'e Aloha. Malokune mawahone. It has always been like this. May we continue to be guided by the spirit of aloha that is the heart of Hawaii and the heart of the leadership and the compassion and the devotion I have experienced in the last 8 years. How's that? 8 years during the hardest time on this campus. So during the hardest time, we have the hardest worker I have ever experienced in my life. So mahalo nui no kia aha. Mahalo nui for all the work and the spirit you will give to our haumana. May you continue to inspire Hawaii with your dedication to ike akea, the knowledge that is expansive, and then ike kai kuhohonu, the knowledge that transforms our students, because we ourselves are being transformed by the needs of our time. Mahalo nui, mahalo nui.
Thank you, Auntie Manu. Now we're going to do our faculty staff recognitions, our new hires, our service awards. So we're going to start with our new UH West Oahu Ohana, so people who have joined our campus starting in January. And when I call your names, can you please come up to the front of the stage? Thank you. We're going to start with Tyler Chantakam, Admin and Fiscal Support Specialist. Maverick Augustin Carino, Media Specialist. Keo Mailani Yamane, Student Services Specialist. Sierra Bongolan Aquino. Sorry, thank you. Office Assistant. Greg Vital, Electrician. Finita Long, Registered Architect. Jesslyn Wheeler, Financial Aid Specialist. Brooke Balaspas, our University Officer. Dion Dizon, Director of CLEAR. Wesley Chong, Assistant Professor of Mental Health. Wendy Takahashi, Student Services Specialist. Morgan Armitage, General Labor. Meliza Roman, Fiscal Specialist. Ellen Ray Cachola, Clear Archivist. Sorry, Finita just walked back in. Finita, you gotta come back up to the room. We're announcing new people in new positions, so come on up, Finita. Anna Pruitt, Associate Professor of Psychology. Ali Mushtaq, Associate Professor, Sociology. Edward Keanui, Assistant Professor, Business. And John Ayabe, our new Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, who will be joining us in September. Oh, not together. Okay, big, wide, long group. Can we guys have you? And many of these names should sound familiar. There are people who have been here who are joining us in new roles. Congratulations and welcome to the UH West Oahu, or welcome back, or new roles. Okay, now we're going to be honoring those who have achieved a certain years with the university. We're going to start with our 10-year service award winners. Bev Baligad. Fia Brown. Malia Cook. Kaliko Correa. Oh, she's here. Kathy Ikeda. And Hoku Kwan, but I've heard she's sick, so that's why she can't be with us this morning. Chad Koizumi Miyashiro. Christina Mello. Christy. No, Christy. Woohoo! Brian Miyamoto! Yeah! Tom Scheiding. Tom. We're kind of backed up. I'm trying to give some time for our Kamuela Yong. And Konstantinos Zugris. And unfortunately, Christy is also unable to join us, so we'll get her, Christy Mello. Constantino? Congratulations to our 10-year service award winners. If we can get a photo. Congratulations. Now we have 4 to honor for 20 years with the university. So I forgot to remind the campus that the 10-year was the Kihei, and the 20-year is a Kukuile Antimanu made. So thank you. This is very super special. Let me bring up Connie Kaoili. Adrian Lee. Leslie Lopez. And John Stanley. Congratulations again to our 20-year service awardees. We'd now like to honor our Regents Medal for Excellence in Teaching awardee, Joy Mahiko. Congratulations, Joy. And we have 2 teaching award winners, the Laulima Teaching Innovation Award to Cohen Park. And our Lecturer Excellence in Teaching Award to Katie Nakahara. Unfortunately, I don't think Katie could be with us this morning. You're so funny. I wasn't Congratulations, Cohen. We now like to honor or recognize those who have tenure and promotion. Let's bring up for tenure and promotion, Loea Akiona. James Burrell. You got one. Okay, I apologize. We got it wrong. We got it flipped. I gave people tenure and promotion. So the people who got promotion, Loea and Dr. Burrell. Sorry, I do not have that power. I wish I did. Kathy Ikeda. Where did she go? She's here. We didn't. Oh, there. Okay, sorry. Laurie James. Christy Mello, who we know is not here this morning, but Christy, she still got it. Nandi Odiambo. Oh. Tom Scheiding. Robin Tasaka. And Constantino Zugris, but I think he's here. Try again. Yeah. These are promotions. Yeah. Congratulations to our promoted faculty. Okay. So now, tenure and promotion, Bonnie Bittman to Associate Professor. Kimberly Kompok to Associate Professor. And Kirsten Vaca to Associate Professor. Congratulations to our 3 newest associate professors. And we want to do a quick recognition of our retirees, Bonnie Arakawa, Cheryl Kina, and Ross Pritzia. I'm going to kill time so John Stanley can make his way from the back of the room. All the way up here. So thank you. Let me welcome John Stanley for Institutional Research Office.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. I thought it was on. 40% of our students are ages 25 and older with an average age of 26 years old. So you can kind of get an idea of the level of diversity and makeup in the typical classroom given the demographics here. Let's move along. This next slide highlights some of the key milestones over the last 8 years. These are the most significant and possibly noteworthy data points over that period of time. Starting with our record high enrollment in fall 2020, right at the onset of COVID-19, we hit a record high of 3,168. That marked a period of 16 out of 17 yearly increases, prior increases up to that point. Enrollment has since leveled off a little bit. We're right around 2,800, 2,900 going into this fall semester. Degree output, we've awarded over 5,000 bachelor degrees in the last 8 years. That's a substantial amount of bachelor degrees given our size. Yeah, definitely. That's the highest degree output per capita of any institution in our peer group. Our most recent retention and graduation rates were both record highs. We had a record high retention rate of 77.9%, and our 6-year graduation was 49.5%. Now, underpinning those two rates, we also had notable milestones for Filipino student retention, which reached 90%, and our Native Hawaiian transfer retention at 81.3%. Yeah. And our U.S. News Best Colleges rankings, we had some of our best rankings last year in 2024. We were ranked number 15 among best regional colleges in the West. Out of that, we were number 3 among best public colleges in the West. We were the number 26 in terms of top performers on social mobility, and we were the number 4 best college for veterans. All right, so drilling a little bit more into the rankings, you can see our rankings here, how they've changed a little bit over time. Prior to 2019, we were never ranked in the Best Colleges publication. But since then, we've been consistently ranked every year, and we've generally improved our rankings over time as well, with our best rankings to date last year in 2024. One notable sort of ranking here is we were ranked number 3 several times in terms of campus ethnic diversity. So it's kind of interesting that we don't show up in that category every year, given our demographics. I admit I'm not as familiar with how that ranking is calculated, but what I do know is that our overall ranking is driven heavily by our retention and our graduation rates. And being that we just reported record all-time highs for our retention and graduation rates, it's reasonable to expect that we're going to see an increase going into 2025 when our next rankings come out in September. So be on the lookout for a press release for that to follow soon. All right, in our last final slide here, postgraduate outcomes, what happens to students after they earn their degree. Now, these data are unchanged from last year's PD Day, not for a lack of not trying to update these data. We did go to the data sources, and we didn't find updated data for this year. So we're going to roll with it. We saw, we're still looking really pretty here in terms of our cohort default rate. That's one of the lowest in our peer groups at 1.5%. So almost 0% of our students are defaulting on their student loans. That's really good. And the average median total debt after graduation is $14,500. So that's a really good value. That's almost $10,000 less than you would pay for like a used Toyota Camry. So I'd say that's really good. And we still have the highest employment rate 1 year after graduation for our graduates, and median wage earned 1 year after graduation in the system, even higher than UH Manoa and UH Hilo. So another data point that we're proud about. So hopefully that gives you sort of an idea of our demographics, where we moved in terms of postgraduate outcomes, our rankings, which have been improving over time, and some of the key milestones. So that concludes our By the Numbers segment. Thank you very much. Have a great fall semester, and take care.
Thank you, John. And now I'd like to invite Director of Admissions, Martin Motooka, to come up and give us enrollment highlights.
All right, good morning. I know you can't see me, but hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so many of you probably remember last year, our VCSA, Dr. Uono, came up and she had told the group, right, that our goal for enrollment increase this year would be 3%, with a stretch goal of 5%. So I am pleased to announce that we have hit that goal-ish, okay? So I see Dr. Ferruto looking at me like, Martin, your math is not mathing, because if you look at this head count, it says 1.3%. Now, let me explain Kaiser algebra to you, okay? So when you look at the numbers beneath the surface, you'll see the true picture, right? And so we took a significant hit when we look at our early college numbers. We're down 70 students as of Monday. But our early college pathways historically have not transitioned to enrollment as they graduated from high school. So under Chancellor Benham, along with the VCs, we have repurposed and refocused our early college. So the goal is that it won't be as large as it once was, but it will be with more intention that will lead students from our high schools into specific pathways or concentrations here at UH West Oahu, right? So that's to be expected. Then the returning students, it's also significantly down, but that's also to be expected because we saw a record number of increase in our returning students coming out of the pandemic. So during the pandemic, a lot of students opted to defer and to sit out. And then we saw them come back. And then so now that kind of has tapered off, we have seen it decline, but our continuing students has steadily increased, right? Which is to be expected. So that's actually the better number to pay attention to. Now, what's very impressive is when you look at our first-time freshman numbers, we are up 5%, right? There you go. And then when you look at our transfer numbers, right, that has seen the biggest jump. In fact, our percentage is higher than any other of the four-year universities. And a large part of that, again, goes to Chancellor Benham creating our transfer coordination team with Dr. Bumatai and her squad. So we have reps at our sister campuses on the neighbor islands. And then we have Aloha, who services our Windward Community College. And so we can see that the returns on those are quite higher, right? And so if you look at our home-based enrollment, right, the number that matters, it is up 4.2%. And so Kaiser mathing, when we round that up, that's 5%, right? Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I wasn't a math major, so forgive me, but it is what it is, right? But I think when you look at this, it's something to be proud of, especially when you look at the temperature, right? Like the stack is rigged against us. We do not have the same resources as the other campuses. We're getting outspent 10-1 in our own neighborhood, right? And we have a very small team, but our team outworks and is out-talented, or more talented. English not so good either. Better everybody, right? Like case in point, our financial aid team under James, right, is smaller than any of the other universities, yet we're consistently the fastest to award and package our students, right? Frank Green is the go-to for all of our local schools, not only on the island of Oahu, but our neighbor islands to do their financial aid nights, right? Our transfer students are our largest new student population every semester. We only have one transfer credit evaluater who's able to bring in those credits into STAR, so that way they choose our campus, right? UH Hilo, who is almost double our size as far as faculty and staff goes, right? Even though they have less students than us, that's a little sus, but whatever, right? Like, their director of admissions asked me, like, Martin, how is it that you're able to get these numbers in real time? I'm like, it's magic. And they're, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. Like, it's my IT guys, right? It's John and Aaron who created these programs in the background that allow me to have access to this information. And they're like, well, can we talk to them? I was like, oh, if you want to reach out and holler. And they help them, because, again, we're a smaller team, but we have more heart than anyone else. So big up. So these numbers are representative of everyone. Our freshman increase was due to a huge push, right? This was a big priority. So Dr. Kwan and our Naulu team, they did an event, the second annual We Go West. Huge event. For those of you that do not know, it's where we bring in our regional high school schools, their incoming freshmen, our new students. It's a way of celebrating them. I mean, this event is massive. They have celebrities from Capena all the way down to Vin Diesel. Oh, yeah, sorry. That's me, sorry. My eye's not so good either, but yeah. So, huge event. But again, it was a whole campus effort, right? From John, Lynn, Malia, finding the space on our tiny campus to house this massive push. Our grounds team, our maintenance team, our security team, Fia and his squad bringing in a fleet of buses and ensuring that they unload safely, right? Which was huge. I will say this, sorry, side note. I promise to keep it short. One of the things that I enjoyed, or my core memory of this event, was one of our high school counselors had told me, Martin, your campus is beautiful, right? And I'm like, I am? And they're like, no, the campus, right? Okay. But how many of us came here from Pro City 13 years ago, right? Tell me not. Our campus is prettier today than it was when it was brand new, right? Because we have the best grounds and maintenance team too. You know what I'm saying? Like, amazing. They've only given us an inch, but we took a yard. Anyway, okay. But it's not over yet, right? So we're still hustling. We're still doing what we need to do to increase our enrollment even further. So Carrie and our award-winning academic advisors, they are hosting 2 transfer orientations that are coming up this week, tomorrow in person. So thank you, faculty, for coming and helping with that, and then online on Friday as well. And then on September 31st, we are going to host 30th. That's what I said. There's some reverberation in this microphone. Sorry, September 30th, because there is no 31st. Yeah. We are hosting in partnership with Dr. Bumatai's team. Are bringing back the transfer counselor workshop on our campus. So any faculty that want to help out with that event, please see us in the back table where the admissions is. But that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to hear more from Martin, you can talk to him at the tabling event, which is going to take place for the next 45 minutes. And all the people, Martin just basically highlighted so many of our wonderful units around campus, but we're all here around the room to showcase the things that we've been working on or services that we can offer. So please take a look. You'll hear from our curriculum committee, our fiscal, comms, UH Foundation, IT, library, institutional research and engaged scholarship, the No'eau Center, IRO, and admissions. John and Martin happen to be coupled together, so they got the jokes back there. You hear from AI Tech and UPenna, auxiliary services and compliance, and facilities and land and planning. So Martin really just gave you guys a preview of all the wonderful work of the units around our campus, but please take the next 45 minutes to make your way around the table and just get to learn more. For some of you, it's a refresher. For some of you, it's the first time you'll be meeting some of the people around the campus. And we'll reconvene at 10:45. Okay? So go on and make some friends. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Chancellor Benham.
Yeah. Thank you. Aloha mai kako e na hoa ohana o ke kula nui. E na kumu, na limahana, a me ko kako kaio ulu akea. I greet you today with a heart overflowing with aloha and gratitude. This moment, this gathering, is not about endings, but about reflection, celebration, and a recommitment. After 9 incredible years serving as chancellor of this remarkable campus, I come before you not to close the door, but to honor the journey we have walked together. I first of all want to thank all of you for the warm celebration of Lei, so mahalo for that. I know I asked that nothing was, but you know, I'm not naive. I knew, I tried to be prepared. I do have my Kleenex here, just in case. And I did script my presentation because, as many of you know, this is not going to be quite easy for me to get through. So I'm breathing, and I will get through this. A'ohe pau ka ike I ka halau ho'okahi. I am reminded of the incredible abundance of ike that lives here at the University of Hawaii West Oahu. Academic and professional, personal and cultural. Our campus is a kulana ike, a place where diverse ways of knowing are not only welcomed, but woven together. It is this collective energy, this generative reciprocal flow of wisdom that has empowered our journey. It has connected us across disciplines, perspectives, and roles, and it is this same energy that will continue to light your way forward. It is the light of our hokupa'a, our North Star, that keeps UH West Oahu's light shining bright, steady, and uniquely ours. This has been a journey guided by pilina and purpose. When I was asked to serve as chancellor in 2017, I knew that my role was not to lead from above, but to walk with all of you as a partner in possibility. I came guided by the values of aloha, pono, kuleana, and pilina, committed to building a university that would reflect the brilliance of its people and the needs of this beloved place. And so many of you will remember that from 2017 to 2018, we worked to re-envision a new strategic action plan. We asked ourselves, who are we here to serve? What do our keiki, our communities, and our aina ask of us? How can we be pono in practice and in vision? Now, these were not abstract questions. They became our compass, which guided us to our value proposition, which compelled us to offer more than degrees, but to cultivate leaders prepared to face the dynamic needs of our region and our world. And we all stepped up and responded to the kahea of our mission that called us to equity, to excellence, to a higher education experience rooted in Native Hawaiian values. Our transformational vision reminded us that we are not a university separate from our community. We are of and with our community. Throughout the 9 years together, we have lived into our pahuhopu, our purpose and our collective aspiration. Remember pupukahi I holomua? I'd like to share with you what we have done together from where I stand under 4 themes that illustrates what it looks like to paddle together. And these are the 4 themes up top. Academic and institutional innovation. We expanded our degree programs, introducing cybersecurity, cyber ops, creative media, natural sciences, and applied mathematics, health sciences, the first BS that this campus had, congratulations, and sustainable community food systems, each shaped by local and global needs. We made bold moves in hybrid and online learning, building tools and systems to increase access, inclusion, and digital equity. And you developed innovative, transdisciplinary approaches grounded in Hawaiian ways of knowing. These academic innovations didn't emerge from policy alone. They were cultivated by the ingenuity and unwavering dedication of many of you in this room. You breathed life into curriculum. You listened deeply to students' dreams. and you design learning environments where equity and excellence meet. I have come to see and to know that you lead with imagination, adapt in moments of uncertainty, and uplift students with quiet acts of grace and brilliance. Our achievements are the outcomes of everyone in this room who live our pahuhopu every day. This is who we are. There are moments when we look to our students and we are reminded of why we do this work, how they, through their courage, creativity, and commitment, reflect not only our aspirations, but our pahuhopu in action. We see this in Emilia Deliri, Miss Hawaii 2025, whose grace in hula and brilliance in marketing remind us that identity and leadership are intertwined. Her platform to empower Indigenous youth is an echo of the values instilled here at UH West Oahu. We see it in the Millard sisters, Sydney and Lindsay, both past student government presidents. Sydney stood on the world stage at Expo Dubai, while Lindsay uplifts the voices of local youth through civic service. Their journeys reflect how our classrooms, our mentorship, and our cultural grounding prepare students for both local and global kuleana. We see it in Jackie Freitas, Hawaii's 2024 State Teacher of the Year, who now teaches natural resource management at Lelehua High School. A proud graduate of our education program, Jackie's work feeds both mind and body. Her journey was guided by faculty mentors like Mary Heller, Dr. Paula Major, and Dr. Rick Jones, each believing in her before she knew the extent of her own brilliance. And most recently, we see it in our cybersecurity team, the inaugural Cyber Force One squad, who after clinching first place at the regional NCAA NE Cyber Games, advanced to the national finals in Tampa, Florida, competing against over 130 teams. Under the captainship of freshman Kiana Merez, with teammates Nyla Boneza, Blix Hazen, Joel Kawamai, Chloe Kurishima, Brandon Ramos, and Shane Zules. They finished 12th in the nation in their first ever national competition. Now, their journey was not without hurdles. When their faculty sponsored Dr. Anthony Ike, a UH alum himself, could not attend, Dr. Eli Sukayama stepped in at the last moment. And without his willingness to travel with the team, our students would not have been able to participate. Together, they defended real-time systems from a red team attack, learned under pressure, and stood as proud representatives of our small but mighty university. And while our students' journeys are shaped by the brilliance of faculty and academic mentors, their path into and through college is guided by the incredible work of our student success teams. Our admissions, recruitment, financial aid, advising, counseling, tutoring, the entire student affairs ohana. They are often the first voice our students hear. I can't imagine the first voice is Martin's, right? The steady hand that helps them to register, to apply, and to persist. They navigate systems, solve problems, and they open doors. I want to mahalo each of you on our student success, student services team for being the heartbeat of our student-centered mission. Your commitment ensures that every student feels seen, supported, and empowered to thrive. Now, there are so many more stories about student successes because these are not isolated stories. They are proof points. They tell us that when faculty like Dr. Widiase, Dr. Sukayama, our staff at Naulu and No'eau centers, and many others, when we mentor with care, students rise to challenges they once thought unimaginable. That when staff and families come together, new worlds open up for our students. And that when we live into our pahuhopu with intention, leadership, innovation, and aloha flourish. Because this is who we are. This is the community that we have nurtured. Community engagement and scholarship. You know, we have so many examples, and I just want to mahalo Dr. Leah Kinikini for all the work she has done to support the many folks who have applied for grants and contracts. I want to thank our business office for supporting that, and our administrative officers in the Chancellor's office for providing the backbone that we need in order to do this work. For example, programs like Upena Moana Nui Akea, if you got down to this corner, who has positioned us as a hub for Indigenous knowledge and innovation. And talk about the value of our graduates. It's all being run by our graduates, Gabby, Kureha, and Stefan. I just love working with them. They're much smarter than I am about those things. Through Imi Na'awau and He Pai Pai Aloha, we nurtured deep connections between UH West Oahu and our communities, from keiki and local schools to kupuna, growing food and coconuts for the lahui. Our grants, Title III grants, NSF Teacup grants, USDA grants, and much, much more brought millions in federal support to uplift our students, our region, and our collective future. He vaivai nui ka lokahi. Working together is of such great value. So over these 9 years, it is through lokahi, with our communities, our partners, and one another that we have grown deeper, more grounded, and more impactful. But lokahi is often tested. There were seasons of profound disruption when the familiar gave way to the unknown. The global pandemic redefined how we lived and worked. Budget shortfalls demanded hard choices. And now, federal imperatives, mandates, force us to pivot with urgency. These forces have reshaped not only our operations, but our sense of certainty. And yet, in those moments of upheaval, our values became our compass. Our mission became our anchor. And it is through kuleana, creativity, and care that we survived. Oh, that we did not just survive, we actually led. Let me speak to the strength and stewardship that carried us through the harsh realities of COVID-19. I saw a lot of you looking at those pictures from COVID-19. It's almost like you're having PSD, right? You just, oh my God, what happened? The realities of COVID-19 created a great deal of uncertainty for us all. And yet, through it all, we protected our students. We adapted our operations, and we maintained our mission without compromising our values. When the world changed in March of 2020, we did what we always do at UH West Oahu. We turned to one another. Across every division and office, we rose as a single ohana, not as isolated units, but as a unified campus guided by aloha, kuleana, and ingenuity. We were the first to have really nice little stickers that told you where to walk, where to stand, where to go up and down the stairs, how many people in an elevator. Thank you, John Murakami. Within days of the shutdown, you, our faculty and staff, began working together to move courses online, to create digital teaching handbooks, and to transform classrooms into multimedia studios of learning. We embrace new technologies, not just to maintain instruction, but to enhance it. And we did so with a commitment to digital equity, ensuring that every student had access to learning no matter where they were. But we knew that operational success was not just about logistics. It was about people. Our weekly bulletins and the monthly Peahilono newsletters became our lifelines, offering COVID safety updates, moments of connection, and encouragement when isolation felt overwhelming. Don't know if you remember the Coping Through COVID column that we had. Dozens of faculty and staff shared photos and reflections and stories of how you were adapting, baking bread, surfing with children. Saw a lot of pictures of Michael Furoto and his kids. That's what he was doing. Zooming with loved ones, building gardens and forts, and finding joy in the small things. We were not immune to stress, fear, or loss, but we faced all of those things together. We reached out across divisions and departments, across screens, across time zones, and we checked on each other. You, the faculty, shared wellness tips. Staff delivered PPE and built hybrid teaching kits. Our leaders didn't just make decisions, they modeled compassion. And together, we made our campus safer, more connected, and more prepared than many others in the system. I do want to take a moment to recognize those who held this campus together. Our grounds crew, security team, janitorial staff, IT professionals, and office administrators. Even when the world stood still, you showed up. You sanitized the classrooms, you secured our buildings, you maintained our gardens, and you ensured our technology ran smoothly. You checked temperatures, and you checked on people. You made sure we could come back safely. So to all of you, you are the stewards of this place, not just in function, but in spirit. You remind us that aloha is in the details and that care is in every corner of our campus. This is operational stewardship. It was Lokahi in motion. It was aloha embodied. It was UH West Oahu showing up with courage, creativity, and heart. Now, through my regular Peahilono reflections and quarterly reports and Manu's Kulana o Kapolei seasonal newsletters and our Optus updates and much more, we grounded our work in transparency and shared kuleana. Our faculty and staff development through Optus, all of these efforts have supported leadership at every level, ensuring that every voice could be heard, every contribution honored, so that we can become a beloved community in action. Not a slogan, but a way of being. And that led me to my new olelo no'eau that I've been using for a couple years, He Makau, He Upena Kako. Now, this is an old picture taken at Laie Bay of a community of people at a hukilau pulling in a net full of fish. It would not honor the truth of our work to skip past the challenges because the pandemic took a toll on our students, our families, and our spirits. Now, funding remains uncertain still, and today's shifting winds of national policy tests and will continue to test our resolve. There have been many more challenges that we have faced and many more challenges that we will face. But through it all, we have never forgotten who we are. We have never given up on our students. We have never let go of each other, and I hope we never will. So, holding fast to our North Star, our hokupa, has always been clear. Service to place, service to our students, our communities, our aina. It is a vision rooted in aloha, illuminated by kuleana, and driven by hope. I encourage you now, each of you, to hold fast to that vision and keep asking yourself, how can this university respond to the needs of our people? How can our scholarship be in service of something greater? You are the stewards of that vision now. Paddle strong, paddle together. I want to leave you with a final image, a story that many of you know well. We're going to watch The Boy with a Gift.
What is a beloved community? In its simplest form, it refers to a community where you are beloved, a place where you can be yourself, thrive, and help others around you grow as well. Auntie Puanani Burgess is a kapuna, culture facilitator, storyteller, and the creator of a ceremony called Building a Beloved Community, which uses traditional oral Hawaiian storytelling to lay the foundations for beloved communities. For my senior project, I animated the story Boy with a Gift to share the story that everyone has a gift. Even if you feel like you don't have one, you do. I present Boy with a Gift. Enjoy.
Aloha, Michelle. You know, in the work that I do in building the beloved community, there's a process I use which involves asking people 3 stories to tell. First is to tell the story of all of your names. And when you tell that story, you tell the story of your people and your family. The second story is to tell the story of your community, where you come from, and how that makes you feel. The third is to tell the story of your gift. That often is the hardest story to tell because it requires you to dig deep and to really honor something that is inherent in you, that oftentimes is not seen by others. I did this story with a group of 11th and 12th graders at Waianae High School, young women and young men. We sat in a circle and we went around the circle, and each one of them told their 3 stories, their name, their community, and their gift. Until we got to this one young guy when it was his turn to tell his stories. He told the story of his name and his community, but when it came time to tell the story of his gift, he pushed back against me hard, and he looked at me straight in the eye and he said, "Miss, what kind of gift you think I get? I stay in this freaking special ed class. I get hard time read, and math hard for me. And why you make me shame for ask me the kind of question, what's your gift? If I had gift, you think I'd be here?" So he just shut up and he shut down. And I felt shame because I made him shame. So I shut up and I shut down. Fortunately, in every community, there are always places where you can see everybody you like see and everybody you know like see. And so in Waianae, one of those places for us is Tamora Store. So I'm in Tamora Store and I'm pushing my wagon down the aisle and I see that boy and his back is faced toward me and all I can think of is run. And so I start to back up, and I'm trying not to hit anything on the side and trying not to make any noise because I don't want him to turn around. I don't want him to yell at me, and I don't want him to make me shame again. So I'm backing up, and then he turns around, and he looks at me straight in the eye, and he says, Auntie, I've been thinking about you, you know. I've been thinking, what my gift? That Auntie told me I can give, you know, so I better find him. So Auntie, I've been thinking about it, you know. So I looked up at him and I said, so brother, what is your gift? He said, you know, I get a hard time read and math, hard for me. But Auntie, when I go in the ocean, I can call the fish, you know. And a fish, he come every time. Every time I can put food on my family table. And sometimes when I stay in the water, the shark, he come, you know, and he look at me. And I look at him and I tell him, Uncle, I'm not going to take plenty fish. I'm going to take 1, 2 fish just for my family. All the rest, I leave for you. So the shark, he tell me, are you cool, brother? And I tell him, Uncle, you cool. And so the shark, he go his way, you know, Auntie, and I go my way. I look at that boy and I think, you are invisible to them. They don't know the quality of your mind and your heart and your knowledge, your Ike. And I think to myself, how do we make room for the gifts of all of our children? And how do we make these schools really be attentive to and begin to see and teach to the gifts of our children? But it begins with each one of us thinking about and knowing that we have gifts and having the patience to wait for the answer. So my question to you is, what do you bring to your community? What is your gift? Mahalo.
Mahalo to Sharla and the ACM program. That boy with wonder in his eyes, though that not that though.
Gift.
That's all right.
Your
Yeah, the next slide, that would be good. Yeah, there we go. So that boy, with wonder in his eyes and a gift in his hands, represents every student who has walked through our doors. Every one of our students are held by this community that sees him, sees them, believes in them, and prepares them to thrive. That, folks, is what we have built. That is who we are, and that is what we must protect. If you can go to the final slide. Oops. Okay, that was the final slide. Good. Go back to the other one. I don't even know anymore. I'm confused. So with deep gratitude and aloha to all of you, my beloved ohana, you are the reason that this university thrives. Every late night, every early morning, every quiet act of service, you have made this possible. To my staff and the executive officers and all of our support teams, you hold us together when it really, really matters. So every day of this, my last semester with all of you, I will work hard to continue to lead us forward. I want to mahalo each of you for walking this journey with me. And it is, and it will always be, a personal and professional honor. Mahalo to all of you for believing in the power of the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. E kulia ika nu'u. Reach for the summit, always and together. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Okay, I was holding it together until then. Thank you, everybody. This concludes this formal portion of Convocation, but you will be joining your respective units in these rooms where you will be served your lunch. So again, thank you again for joining us, and let's rock this fall semester. All right, thank you.